Minto Ngoro Kelvin Osire huko Ngangu si njeno munyagitari wa mangana ya mental health so munyagitari wa bongo ase Betamiri Hub kutokorega siyo konya abantu wangire gwetere mechandi yo kunywa mariogo yo gutindi amona maru kerabachirega Betaminto bwapya munyagitari njeno yo mo boko bakonya twaba mariogo na twaba sibye bitekuru mubere baba bantaba ya kabisa twange yakoba mafunzo twaba train kero babo soka kororo banyoramba bwategendo bakora baenda bakorega asibe konya twaba tukubabwati sikali na kibaenderete twakonyera abantu abangi babeire buya bayiraniri gototebimbi ya mono kuna abandi tugwe boro kiase omwere gwe video yengo boro kitore bari twangire twanyare ko batobokonya bakabanyorere kigasi tutagete leta abantu bamino banyore obokonyi baruga banyore kigasi kero tore Betamiri Hub a program nere ko aftercare togocha twarana kibaenderete follow up
yamore asama yetangoro ku Billy Graham ondegi seitere nyari bari masama na bwato machando bokonywa maru bokonywa binyo binde byo tindi bune sigara nenyasora ebyagerete bikonkora bakanga tikanyone skuru asenale gosoma lakini rende na stenga nyora ba Samaria baya bakanga direct oja seri application ya kokuria Betami ya application center abwase na bete kingo nyara kingo ba admitted asemetinye tato nona bete kingo bera kanyabora kingo ruo wono nonde ika nyone gasiane ngo bande kingo kora na iranire buya na bete kingo tige binde biyonsi siena nyorete aberega onkonya bakana abere kingo kore pikipikane biya onkonya korosie isikie ya ngire kuya konga chibesa gotumia sobo mabwani ega ndongo tebi onde bwensi orisikali Betamiri Rehabilitation Center ne rehabilitation yengia onyo ko bwate machando kuno uyu nae ngoko nae abongo kasabalo acho ko ko nyite onyo nae wakon kwale robokon
bono namangana maya Betami twaigoire orosagia oroya imeyabo songo ensemo ya gesonso asamanke twakere esimye kubwatia 0706 38 0913 kose 07 83 69 1972 Betami Rehabilitation Center genda wenyorere obobwenia webirengo bigoro.
Keep watching Voice of Victory TV.
Welcome to the Voice of Victory, reading Souls Christ. We thank the Lord that here we are today again to share the same message. Elder Moyo Daniel Rugage talking, and behind the scene we have Barnabas and his colleagues. Today we want to deal with an individual or a symbol called by the Lord, but the few have been chosen. Many have been called, but the few have been chosen. It seems it's a simple statement, but it has a lot. Before that, we need to hold the whole scriptures from the book of Matthew, chapter 10. That's where we read the call of the 12 disciples of Jesus. And this is 12 disciples of Jesus. In my mother tongue, it goes, yes, akarangalia borokubaye, ikomina wabere. Akarangalia, he called. Asabu komina wabere. We have dealt with the 12 disciples of Jesus, and their names we know them. If we can remind ourselves what we did about 3 months ago, that here we have Matthew, we have Peter Simon, we have Andrew, we have James of the Zebedee, we have John his brother, Philip, then we have Bartholomew, sometimes called Nathaniel, we have Thomas, we have Matthew as a tax collector, James, son of Alphaeus. Then we have Thaddeus, sometimes they call Judas, but not Iscariot. Then we have Simon from Canaan, and lastly Judas Iscariot. These are the 12 disciples. And the topic today, many have been called, but the few have been chosen. That's a big topic. From the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 1. Jesus called the 12 disciples. Some other version says that Jesus appointed 12 disciples. In the other words, they say Jesus chose. So we have 3 words: called, chosen, or appointed. When I say you are appointing somebody or you are choosing somebody, in other words, you are familiar with him. You have identified him. You know him by even name. This deals with human beings. Se miake to ikire na abange bachori abange barangeri gura kina bake bachori ngito bwate sebirengal ase miake to ikire challenges we have with our youths, especially the challenges they have in the 21st century, may not be applicable of what was yesteryear. In miaka there were issues, but we didn't have what we call digital. There was a time when our leaders were youths, and today we have our youths who are going to be tomorrow's leaders. It says men have been called. And when I'm talking this from the old scriptures, it says that God himself, through Jesus Christ, called 12 disciples, and those 12 men put the whole world in a fire. Later he appointed 72 and 120. But the big question today, as an individual, many have been called, but the few are chosen. Abange barangaliwe, lakini na bakaba chole. Iko nyasaye na bwata banda bacha kwiriko. It's a big question. Does God choose or predestine those who are going to be in heaven? Nyasaye ngo chorara bacha kwenda. Usenkoro beriara una bana bacha kwenda kuna bana batri kwenda. That's a big burden before us today. We have, and we need to make it very clear, God does not determine your choice. The water side of the water body, and below we have a will, is the president of the 3. The body and the soul, what determines what comes out is the will. Lakini uwanja, the will determines where you will be. Abange barangaliwe, lakini na bakabacholo. The same book was Luke. Luke chapter 6 verse 13 downward says Jesus went to the hillside. Nagesa ajete getunonse, getunugoro, getunonse, abande whatever on a planet, on a plane, whatever you call it. He called his 12 disciples. Asaba one of them was a betrayer. Maybe, maybe not. Now, ever out of 12 people, there is one who's a traitor. I want you to focus your church. If you have over 100 people, at least you have about 4 or 5 traitors. Because in every 10, there is one traitor. So in 100, you may have 10 betrayers, traitors. Abantu mbaro baguru abande. Eko harakariesa rangeti komunawere. Ona ajidoro. One friend of mine told me this. Akare mburego tuwa, akanyara mantongo kabale banyora saka nyomba kale bayigama. Usese bale kuweta baketu ndubale bayigama. Usese bale kuweta ase jiro ebibana mbiro bayigama. Akara bayigama, there is something in their mind. Emburake gosira abaguru akanyomba akume, anyabarenge ejiro basoka bagenda. In most cases, especially Usia, I can't go to Jesus Giamo Associate Giamarago. Jagarajisa Kianda Paka Comina. Again, Burago is a coming for 1 hour of Sundari Asoyako. Like in a neighbor to Kega, Amando Baguru. The Gavanda Vangi to give me Canisa. Togani Demburake was not a desert. That was in Guango. Many have been called, but the few have chosen. I want to use this illustration. na abange tu arangeliwe lakini abakaba chorire na abange to koigama lakini akere mbura yasirire onye mwana ngetundu bali omukarani na ole bali kubuje cyawe kabatikale yakana bachorire buka inuma bande mueta mate anda molisi karo se mungu wete sengo gambe njibe. Many have been chosen but the few have been called. Abange tu arangeliwe abange tu igamire asiji kanisa ime tu igaime lakini mbura ke gosira ngoso wakatoro togende lakini abanyene tundu bali ngotigara bale bakole gas igoro mokoli gas ku tundu bali goso igaimo bune gosira iga osoko gende osogende jiro bando mole bakole gas jiro bando mole bakole bande jiro mambe nande baje sieka maragoba so mara ogoye gira onya abanyene bali bagolete mambe baachire ekere mwaso okere mwasibi chiesa jialire abanyene wikabatigale na warasi ko murango ibaso ime. Those are the honors. Many have been called but the few have been chosen. Some are appointed, some are chosen, some have been called. I am in the 21st century. My youth is a challenge. My elders and the old was this. Abana wakamona included. Abange tu arangeliwe lakini abakata chole. Ngiye ko make the difference between abachole na abarangeli. I don't know, but below it says that when Jesus called these 12 disciples, he gave them power and authority. He gave them chinguru no kobwa. Akaba chinguru no kobwa asevirecha. Asamaroire, asamakong. I don't know whether you are getting me. The point I want to bring across, some of us are doing me kanisa. Ntoire chinguru no kobwa asevirecha. Ntoire chinguru no kobwa asamaroire. That's a big problem. Some of us are church followers and the church goers. Mado se Mungu with the Barnabas. Now I want to smiling on a point in it. Some of us are church goers. We are never serious without Christianity. I want you to test yourself and examine. I if you are not, think twice. Are you the many or the few? Kanisa jiajira jialero wandu wako watende kama and expect a miracle wandu wabwena wandu walinga wataka wae kuchibesa. Is that a test that you are a follower of Jesus? Oma itake konaneri ndeki ono kubwa. I want you to get a miracle is different from power and authority. Even the devil can bring down fire from heaven, and that's a miracle. You want to go challenge nagi? Am I following some people or am I chosen? Or am I called? You want to engage? You want to holiday? That's the problem we have in the 21st century, especially for the youths. Elders equally. But Jesus gave two things. Power and authority over the evil ones. De dura lengerali no musacha nale moina osirogora osemata erogo sabebire chabiatama. Is he chosen or has been called? Is he among the many or the few? Let us not get the confusion. Aganada no engere janabu hata chinguru chio kolevinde. In the book of Daniel chapter 10, when Daniel wanted to pray, Daniel ajito go saba. And for 21 days, remember, Daniel was a servant of God. Daniel no musani nyasa ulenga. Lakini ekereja kama 21 days that he was not able to talk with the God. So what am I saying? No nevireja. Now we go to angama sabo. Don't doubt yourself. You don't get life and done. If you don't believe God once, and life will never remain the same. Undone, it means when life changes, it changes forever. Make a mistake, you are driving. If you get an accident, your life will never be the same. Norunya kitali na wako ruora kini nkuwa bune kito kukuro chomire. Your life has changed and they changed forever. The unlikely gift of God. Learning to work with the faith, or learning to work on faith, or learning to walk by faith, or learning to work on faith. Amalia nana kutokoro ka with, elinde tuwaro ka by, elinde tuwaro ka in, elinde on. And what I meant at faith, whichever article you want to use, ukuwe na wajiri clear. I'm not teaching English, but it's necessary. And sometimes more yamana kobol nagi, amwa ko woja kwara tumie bingana kete bikong, bona ko tu ajete kerasi ni tikatola bikuona na ni mobi bikobi. Ara kuona bingana bitana hapo elimo is by faith, elinde is by with the faith, elinde is on, elinde nin in art. Are you walking at the faith? Are you walking in faith? Are you walking by faith, or you are walking with the faith? Iko kotara no kwegena, goso kwegena akole naye. Goso ikaranso kwegena igoro, goso kwegena akole ime yao, na kingale kokuona. Abanda abange otokotara no kwegena, kwegena akole moina na ayo kotara. Abande etokotara okwegena akole yanse kole igoro. On faith. How I wish you walk in faith. Okwegena na ayo mole gendekam. Engana ne chosen. Are we the many who have been called and a few have been chosen? Ebi ndo mbrengoro ali in life. Anda kero kura abiri na wakona basaja bande tuwamenye na baku. Amara na basaya. Wajede sukuru. But you need to make an impact. For example, the anatomy academics. Onye sukuru ya ino. Ondete yona kanyora C+ and above. Ino no mo ine sukuru ya ondete yona C+ and above. So mwezi moko C plane na kuchimaega. That's living life without a purpose. Kabo motanga ni konyola C+, imona wadana gi ebinto na boto manye tebirego. In the political world, things want to be done the way they are done. Things are done the way they are done. That's the mongi ubia, amori shikana, and these are parable. Do you want us to do things the obvious way, or to do differently so that we can change our life? There is a difference between a politician and a leader. A politician moves with the clouds, but a leader gives the direction and the guidance. Morangiwa. It's not when you are popular or famous, maybe you are with the clouds, but you don't have substance. Are you the many who have been called? All the few are chosen. As leaders, as a youth, make a difference. Baka wandoda nagi na onye sukuru yito njale uweta. Lakini mwana na mwana aro jita ega sukuru era kanyora abane bakabuka C plane. You are made a mark. You have changed the dimension of that school. What's I? Awande mama idena mino inuna bataka. Ana mama idena ana moja ukwa bataka. You have never changed your mind. My there was a month garden say studio. I'm waiting ukwa. Don't do things the obvious way. This is how we do things. They are the same way, year in, year out. Can you make a difference in your life? That's life with a purpose. In so doing, Jesus made a purpose and they made a sacrifice for you and me. That's why we say many have been called, but the few have chosen. But those who change their life and the pattern becomes like that of Jesus, those are the few who have been chosen. Can you say me? Amen. Excuse me. Name interview this to what also was the same. All of us may look the same, but there's a difference when it comes who has the faith of Jesus and the Spirit. Jesus said he gave them power and authority. chinguru ejino kubwani njibwate se miaka etuikire bantu na abange ane magandata koboro. But that is my wish, that we have the Spirit of God and He will give us the power and authority over the evil one. Kiyesa kuonete yandu wajeto kosimeka oboli kosengano lakini umubaga ajabotuko akabeka mabanjole that we have planted the wheat and we have planted even the good seed, but the devil came at night and they sowed the ties. Awarakiba Yesu wakateba tuyatorusia nga mabanjole egara balibugame nengano. Yes, our dad stop it. When you do or you want to pluck the tares, you may plant it unwillingly or unknowingly. So in the church, let us not be condemnating. Let us not be judgmental. The problem we have of this 21st century, with the youth and you are all alike, is comparison of Christianity. I'm not as a sinner as elder so and so. I'm not a sinner as my pastor. I'm not a sinner as my priest. I'm not a sinner as my father. That means in the church, we are doing what we call cheap Christianity of comparison. Wana bata nagi, tiatura kole bibake, tuara wabanyakake, tuara gende kanisa yake, tuara terake, tuara tumake, tuara nyarumoikake. Yani tobuate bike. And that is the problem of Christianity in the 21st century. So your standard measure is your reader. Many have been chosen, but few have been picked. Meaning Jesus is not going to say na guarojo morisha wakolevi, guarojo mopaso wakolevi, guarojo motangani wakolevi, okamobuadi. That's cheap Christianity. Christ will not take us to heaven because of comparison. Injengana na cheap Christianity of comparison. Yani wakristo boko na kwebwekani. Wanyana boko koiwa na njiti ni koiwa. Wanyana boko ngaine na njiti ni ko ngaine. Wanyana boko koro bonyaka na njiti kankole boko. So wakristo obosini wa comparison. Hii ndogo. Ngora mkristo akego ndogo, unakuwa mkristo kidogo. Unakuwa mwasharati kidogo, unakuwa mkristo kidogo, unapata roho mtakatifu kidogo. So wewe ni kidogo. Mimi siningo kuona neno mondo isikali umwete. Many have been called but few have chosen. Abange barange ligura kinna bake bacholi. I want you to get it clear. Ndo kuona nagi. Yes, akarangalia wasaja 12 lakini wao mnara atarangiriti. Maybe in the tens asemole mia bando kianda mbaro baraba Kristo yo matai. Igekere wale marongo kianda bando 10 mbaro bagenda kusalia bando. Onye mole rendeli eminero. As a mountain calculation. One of my pastor like that says, when Jesus, when he kerenya sara angiria bantu bae na kerejenera akolenta bae mu wabrukani. Amanota is a tragedy that in every 20 you may find is one who is following Christ. Rakesa. Na saba ndeme rongewe ora nyono yo moto ko jigo. Abande toiga ime kanise, abande toiga ime tundubali, abande toiga ime chiro. Embura ke gosira ko ena tul. Inyore kare mburo egotu okweigama egwale kwayera kogandaka ose gwale kwayera ko kwani umoirio igatali ga bukwa bera aigo kwigama kuganyito ogenda yabange tuigamete kanisa kare mburo egosira tokole bitakira. Many have been chosen but few have been called. They do go around there. May the Lord bless you this year. It's not how much we will bridge from here. That amana njise renga tuaga ndia tuawe kama tera mange tuwa nesikabu tuwa nimi. Lakini yenda kama nanda yedo kuwa. Because waka wande muande na wangena naki. Chisa ngora irande jinge muaro. Lakini nanda yedo kwa mpe naki na wange barange liu lakini waka wacholi. I know la se bali ba joli go so go iga me kanisa embura ke go siro ga ndabu. It's my sincere prayer to sa kuiga me kanisa. To sa ka bere kanisa. To sa ka bali ba anjole. Oba bali obuya obunya sa ga jakobo. So many have been called, but the few are chosen. Aba joliru nyasa waire bindobere okobuwa ne chinguru power and authority over the evil ones. You might think you want to comment, but it's my sincere prayer. Nyabana basi komiwe. Lera wate na watu wanga tuwale nga mengi. Bake wiki goja same person, same session. Ito na Amazing Grace, reading Falls to Christ. May the Lord bless you. Until next week, same station, same time. God bless you.